Yeah, come.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon,
Come,
ma'am. Good
come.
afternoon, sirs.
Please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Just for your information, it is not good afternoon yet. Huh? It turns good afternoon after 12 noon.
Sorry, sir.
Okay? नहीं, just for information. अच्छा, Mr. Gupta.
Yes, sir.
Now, आपने mining engineering किया in 2016.
Yes, sir.
And then you've been working in this, is this some kind of a, what is this? Rao Educational Solutions? What is this?
Sir, this is private coaching for IIT, JEE and NEET.
For IIT?
JEE as well as NEET.
Okay. Achha. And where, in Delhi?
Yes, sir, in
So
Delhi.
you have been teaching chemistry in there?
Yes, sir.
And you've been getting a handsome salary also?
Yes, sir.
Now you worked there for 4 years.
Yes.
So what made you decide to jump into the services?
Sir, in education sector, I was serving the certain sections of the students only. But in civil services particularly, I'll get a chance to serve the wider section or larger section of the society. So that was my first motivation to join the civil.
What point of time did you decide that civil services is the area in which you want to work?
Sir, in first year of the my job.
Okay. So is this your first attempt?
No, sir, this is my fifth attempt.
Your fifth attempt?
Yes.
And for interview?
This is first.
First attempt?
Yes.
Okay, right.
Rachit,
Yes.
you were generally keeping yourself updated with what's happening around you. How do you keep yourself updated on current affairs?
From newspaper
Okay.
first, and then I listen sometimes AIR.
What is Ayushman Bharat?
Sorry, sir.
Ayushman Bharat.
Ayushman Bharat is to provide around 10 crore families health insurance. And it try to establish health and wellness center as well as try to provide secondary as well as tertiary care to the people. Around 5 lakh insurance is there per annum per family. So this can ensure health for all. Or
There some further developments have taken place in this scheme.
sir, primary health center, some PHCs has been converted to health and wellness
So
centers.
that is specific. But the scheme itself, there is some further expansion indicated.
Sir, I am not exactly aware of this.
Okay,
So I'll read about it.
And what is an IPO?
Sir, it is initial public offering, and some of the company which are not listed on the BSE or NSE platform, they list and they give shares to the people who can invest.
What is the latest on this? A lot of news keeps coming about. Which is the organization about?
Sir, it is about LIC, that LIC IPO is coming.
Where are they?
It's on 5th of May. 5th or 2nd, I'm not sure, sir.
What is the order of divestment?
Sir, it is around 25,000 crore.
So what in terms of percentage of the shares, how much is being divested?
It is 3.5%.
Okay, good. Now, what's happening in this Congress in Punjab? Some developments have taken place in Punjab.
For Congress?
Yes,
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware about.
their disciplinary committee on.
Sir, I'll have to read about
Okay.
it.
And what is it that people are afraid of in terms of this Twitter being taken over by Musk? What is the argument against it?
Sir, number one is he might try to bring out or try to project his own propaganda on the Twitter. Previously, he was known for this about creating a bubble of this cryptocurrency, that you should invest in cryptocurrency, and then people lose money because one day he invests and the other day he just took off that money. So that is the first thing. Then there are some allegations on him about he being misogynist type of person. So it might create a hindrance to freedom of speech and expression.
Hindrance. In fact, he is called absolutist for freedom of speech. He is treated as free speech absolutist. The other corner, actually.
Freedom of speech and expression should not be. I think there should be some reasonable restrictions on the freedom of speech and expressions. So that's why.
Why do you think so?
Because, sir, some of the speeches, such as hate speech, can cause disharmony in the society. They might impact the security as well as sovereignty of the
Okay.
country.
What is the latest that the Supreme Court has said in respect of the hate speech? In what context have you said this?
Sir, I'm not exactly sure about the reference, but it has said something that there should be restrictions on the hate speeches.
It is in a
And-
context. It is in a context. Anyway.
Yes.
Yes, that's it. You are giving chemistry as your optional.
Yes, ma'am.
Has one won the Nobel Prize for chemistry twice?
Yes, chemistry twice. Not, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm not aware of this fact.
Any Indian or Indian origin person has won the Nobel Prize in chemistry?
Ma'am, sorry, ma'am. I'll have to read about it.
V. Ramakrishnan? No, okay. Now, cooking, what do you mean by cooking? You cook
Yes, ma'am.
what cuisine? Rajasthan or Rajasthani or?
Ma'am, specifically Rajasthani, and apart from this, I cook some of the dishes such as paneer tikka, idli sambar.
Indian cooking basically, okay. Now you have given foreign service as your option.
Yes.
In your idea, what do you think an Indian embassy does abroad? Do you have any idea what is the role of an Indian embassy or mission abroad? What does it do?
Number one would be diplomacy to put our point forward in the foreign arena or foreign domain. Number two will be whenever some dignitaries from India visit, so they take care of their visit and they plan their visit accordingly. Number three, they take care of the people or our migrants who are there. So whenever they face any challenge, then embassy helps, just like it did in Ukraine. So these are basic functions of the.
There's more to it, no, than just these things. Looking after VIPs and looking after migrants. There's more to it. You
It
just
is,
read about it,
yes,
okay?
definitely.
Now, you've heard of the South China Sea.
Yes, ma'am.
What are the disputes there? Why is the South China Sea so important? And does India have some role there?
Ma'am, South China Sea, number one is that it is on the important sea line of communication that major trade pass through it, South China Sea particularly. And China is trying to, is going beyond its exclusive economic zone, and it is claiming that South China Sea is its own, and it is trying to encircle the South China Sea. There are disputes such as Senkaku Island dispute is there. So these are some of the disputes. And India particularly has interest in the minerals of the South China, Indian Ocean, as well as India has India's vision of free and open Indo-Pacific, as well as rule-based world order is quite in compliance with the our idea of South China Sea being free from any country's interference. So these
It's
are.
a key element of the East policy of ours, no? Act East policy.
Yes.
Okay. Now, have you heard the term smiling Buddha?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
What is it?
So, ma'am, it is Buddha's statue that is located, smiling Buddha.
Smiling Buddha.
Ma'am, I'm not exactly aware, but can
And
I make a
Shakti.
guess? It was a bomb.
Yes,
Which was
not a bomb. It's India's nuclear policy. Related to India's nuclear policy, what was smiling Buddha? Okay, doesn't matter. Now tell me, what are the main features of India's nuclear policy?
Ma'am, number one is that we support universal nuclear disarmament. We support no first use policy, as well as we support verifiable as well as time-bound nuclear disarmament. So these are our three stands that we take.
And where do you have any idea of a nuclear power plant, where they are?
Civilian nuclear power plant.
Yes.
Maharashtra, in Maharashtra it is there. Kudankulam nuclear power plant is there. In Gujarat it is there. In UP.
Tamil Nadu.
Yes, ma'am. Kudankulam nuclear power plant is Tamil Nadu.
Now, there is a crisis going on in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Tell me something about the economic crisis.
Reasons, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, number one is the sudden or overnight shifting to organic farming and number 2 would be the half it has done the interest rate or the tax rate has been done some populist measures, that some previously tax rate was 15% and it was cut to 8%. Then third reason would be tourism sector due to this COVID as well as Aster bombing attack. So these has reduced their economic potential. So this has caused the economic crisis in Sri Lanka.
What about their debt, export of tea, foreign exchange reserves?
Yes, ma'am. Foreign exchange.
Inflation, rising inflation.
These has been problems of Sri Lanka.
And what are they doing about it? What are the recent measures?
They are trying to get a bailout from IMF, as well as we are also supporting them.
How?
We are supporting them financially. We have promised some soft loans around $2.5 billion in currency swap agreements are there. So that's how we are trying to support their economy.
Okay, thank you.
Will you explain me the hydrogen model founded by Niels Bohr, a British scientist?
By Niels Bohr. Sir, he told about that. Number 1, that electron revolve around the nucleus in elliptical path. Number 2, he told that whenever electrons revolve around the nucleus, they neither lose nor they gain energy. They revolve in the stationary path, and whenever they jump from one orbit to other orbit, then they lose or gain energy. If the electron revolving in a lower orbit and it goes to higher orbit, then it will have to absorb the energy. And when it comes from upper orbit to lower orbit, then it will lose energy in the form of radiations.
Correct. So how does it go to a upper orbit?
By gaining energy, sir.
How? What can happen?
Sir, when we supply light it depends on the energy gap between the two orbits. So for hydrogen.
Correct. So what is Cherenkov radiation?
Sorry, sir.
Cherenkov radiation. CHRKOV. Cherenkov radiation.
Sorry, sir. I am not aware. I'll read about it.
But have you not heard about this radiation coming out of the reactor body placed in a water, or zero energy reactors, or low energy reactors? So have you seen Rocket Boys, Homi Baba?
No, sir.
No,
sir.
So Cherenkov radiation. Who all contributed to the making of first atomic bomb in US? Who are those people, of which nationality, and how they reached US?
Sorry, sir, I am not aware. I remember the name of project. It was Manhattan Project, but I cannot recall the name of the scientist.
No, I'm not asking the names, individual names. I'm only asking the community or the nationality.
Sir, I'll have to read about it.
Who was the director?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware of this.
Okay, after US, which country made the atomic bomb?
Sir, can I make a guess? It was.
Okay.
It was Russia.
At the time, it was Soviet, and then third.
I can.
What happens actually in atomic bomb?
Sir, a nuclear fission reaction takes place in atomic bomb that we have made till now. So in nuclear fission reaction, the uranium particularly is used. Uranium convert to some smaller element by emitting some radiation.
Which isotope of uranium?
Uranium-235.
Okay.
So this converts to thorium as well as some other.
Breaks or converts?
Sir, converts, I would say.
You should say breaks, because half of its value, I mean, the portions are half in number. This is an atomic number of what you get after breaking down. Actually, is half of the original U-35. Anyway, it converts. Let us go by conversion. Then what happens?
And then some energy is released, and that energy is nothing in form of explosion. It is used.
No, but how does this energy becomes self-sustaining and
due to some chain reactions take place.
What is that chain reaction?
Sir, for uranium 235, for one molecule or one atom, one neutron is emitted, and that neutron again react with the another uranium, and then it emits again another neutron. So this reaction goes on, and this is called chain reaction. So
It is uncontrolled chain reaction. But if it is only one neutron, how will it remain uncontrolled?
sir, in atomic bomb it is uncontrolled. In civil nuclear power plant it is.
So are you sure that only one neutron is emitted in every breaking up of the uranium-235 atom?
Sir, in nuclear bomb it is 3.
It is
Three neutrons are emitted in a.
3. Okay, even that is not. Anyway, फिर क्या होता है?
Then it goes on again and again. So these reactions take place again and again.
Uncontrolled chain reaction. And what are the effects of this when they, bombarded some towns in Japan? What happened to the people living there?
Sir, number one would be the nuclear radiations which are emitted during this reaction, nuclear fission reaction. So they keep on going for a longer time because half-life of uranium is quite much. So it goes on till years. So this impact are.
But what do they do to the human beings?
Sir, this impact their health, such as nervous system is impacted due to this. In some
First of all, it burns them physically. It's the power, the heat is so much, and he said brighter than 1,000 suns.
Yes.
It burns them literally.
Yes.
And then
it causes huge ramification or huge repercussion in the longer run, such as many diseases take place in the people, some genetic mutations.
Mr. Rachit,
Yes.
You belong to Savai Madhopur.
Yes, sir.
Why Savai Madhopur is so famous?
Sir, number one would be the Ranthambore Tiger Reserve, and number two would be the Ranthambore National Fort, which is UNESCO World Heritage Site.
What is this project Tiger?
Sir, it was started in 1973 to conserve the tiger in their natural habitat, and till now we have around 51 tiger reserves which are protecting the tiger, and it is in our vision of doubling the tiger population by 2022.
Okay. So this project Tiger also part of the, it also is spread all over the country. Can you name other than Ranthambore?
Sir, Sariska Tiger Reserve is there,
Riska Tiger.
Ramgarh Vishtari is there, Mukundra Tiger Reserves.
You have passed out from ISM Dhanbad.
Yes, sir.
Which state Dhanbad?
In Jharkhand, sir.
Jharkhand. Jharkhand mein how many minerals are there? Can you name few?
Sir, number one would be the coal, number two would be iron is there, manganese is there, copper is there. So these are few minerals which are known. Aluminium is also extracted at some of the places.
What about uranium?
Uranium is extracted at Jaduguda mines.
Jaduguda, where is Jaduguda located?
It's in Jharkhand.
It's in Jharkhand. Uranium is also there. Very rare. Have you been to any coal mining area? Coal mines?
Yes, sir.
Is it open cast mines or deep mines?
Sir, it was a deep mine as well as I have been to open cast also.
Open cast mine. In Jharkhand, it is open cast mine or deep mines?
In Jharkhand, I have been to underground mine, and in Chhattisgarh, I have been to the open cast mine.
Open cast mine. There is a continuous fire in the Dhanbad area, particularly in Dhanbad area where your college was located.
Yes.
ISM Dhanbad. The large area is under fire.
Yes.
Below the ground level.
Yes.
What is the reason for that?
Sir, the fire is taking place since 1916 in Jharia coalfield, and reason as such, number one, or the reason which is given by the scientists is that when the coal is exposed to the radiations, then there are certain minerals in the coal which are heated much more, and due to this spontaneous combustion start. So this spontaneous combustion is taking place in Jharia coalfield, and this is causing fire there for over 100 of years.
Did you have any project like that to study and report, make a report?
So, I personally,
No, your college, ISM Dhanbad.
sir, I am not aware of this.
Thank you. Sir.
Mr. Rachit,
Yes, sir.
Some time back, it was reported in the newspapers about the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, AFSPA.
Yes.
What was that? What was reported in the media about the AFSPA?
Recent developments. Sir, it was about the AFSPA being removed from certain districts of the Manipur as well as Nagaland.
Manipur and Nagaland, only 2 states?
Sir, Assam was also there.
Yeah.
So these 3 states.
3 states, right? Now, the Home Minister had made a statement saying that we have been able to do that because of the peaceful situation and many accords, agreements which have been signed by the government with the insurgent groups. Can you tell me something about the accords which were signed in the state of Assam in the last 2 years?
Sir, in Bodo land,
Yes.
that was accord that Bodo territorial area has been renamed as Bodo Territorial District Council. So more representation would be there for the people.
So what was the Bodos agitating for? What was their demand?
Bodo, they want more autonomy to their area.
Only autonomy. That is not a major issue.
Sir, I'll have to read more about it.
Basically, they wanted a statehood. That is the and that demand they have given up after the Bodo Accord. What else? Any other accord you can think of in Assam?
Sir, recently Assam has signed a land boundary dispute.
Yeah, that's different.
And I cannot recall, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, Nagaland also there has been insurgency. Can you tell me something about the movement there? Which group is involved?
It is Sir NSCN, National Socialist Council of Nagalim, Isak Muba, and it is demanding that Nagalim, that some of the areas of Manipur and Nagaland as well as Myanmar should be merged and given made Greater Nagaland.
You mentioned Greater Nagaland. You mentioned two areas. You mentioned Manipur and
Manipur, Nagaland as well as some part of Myanmar.
no, Myanmar. So it's not in our hand. Within the country, which are the states from which they want area to be included in Greater Nagaland?
So these two I am aware.
You only mentioned one.
Nagaland as well as Manipur.
Nagaland is already there.
Yes.
इसको आप देखिएगा भैया ग्रेटर नागालैंड क्या है इसको थोड़ा सा समझिएगा ठीक है प्लीज रीड इट दीज आर ऑल issues on which it are being reported regularly. Okay.
Yes.
Achha, now the Supreme Court has given certain directions regarding the appointment of a state DGP. Are you aware of that?
Yes, sir.
बताइए.
Sir, it was given Prakash Singh case that DGP should be appointed in such a way that he is given or he or she is given a tenure of 2 years, and there should not be political interference in his or her work.
That's true, but anything. What is substantial? How does the state decide? Who prepares the panel?
Sir, I'll have to read about.
Yeah. आप जहाँ जा रहे हैं अपने इंटरव्यू के लिए, UPSC has to submit a panel. तो जरा सा ऐसा, you should have complete knowledge.
Yes.
Now recently, Parliament has passed an act called the Criminal Procedure Identification Act. उसमें there has been some opposition to it by human rights activists and others. Now, what was the reason for the opposition?
Sir, it was regarding Article 20, that right to self-incrimination. A person should not give his or should not declare himself or herself as a criminal. Like self-incrimination is there. So there was a provision that some retina scan would be there. They can be taken and it can be stored for 75 years. So we don't have data protection law in India, and due to this there would be violation of privacy of those persons, as well as there was some provisions regarding preventive detention. So this might
Preventive detention under this act?
No, sir. There was some provision that it might be used for the preventive detention indirectly.
इसको ठीक है. So we end your mock interview.
Yes.
I will give you feedback.
Yes. Thank you.
The first thing I will advise you is that you go through the CD which you will be given for this interview.
Yes.
And you see the areas in which you did not have complete information.
Yes.
And the first advice would be that you brush up on that so that you are completely familiar with those large number of questions which are asked today. ठीक है?
Yes.
Generally speaking, In the interview, questions will come from your DAF and from current affairs.
Yes.
Now DAF में आपसे आपका optional subject was chemistry. तो भाई इस पर chemistry के बारे में भी पूछ सकते हैं, आपसे पूछा गया, and chemistry related.
Yes.
You know, like you are asked, किसको Nobel Prize मिला in chemistry. These are questions which emanate from chemistry. So these are areas in which you should be able to brush up. ठीक है?
Sure.
अब आपने माइनिंग इंजीनियरिंग की है, तमाम माइनिंग डिजास्टर्स होते हैं, कोल के बारे में आपसे पूछा गया, कौन सी गवर्नमेंट की एजेंसी है जो विच रिस्पॉन्ड्स टू डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट, है कि नहीं? व्हाट इज द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ दैट, व्हाट इज द रोल ऑफ दैट एजेंसी? These are all questions which can come from your mining engineering which is there, right?
Yes.
You have given two extracurricular activities, teaching and cooking.
Yes.
कुकिंग में आपसे पूछा गया था सर्टन क्वेश्चंस. कुकिंग में मिशलिन स्टार्स होते हैं मिशलिन स्टार्स के बारे में सुना है कुकिंग में?
No, sir.
कुकिंग में जो वर्ल्ड क्लास वर्ल्ड लेवल पे जो दी कुक्स who make certain dishes on a restaurant which comes up to a particular level, they are given a star which is called a Michelin star. तो इसको भी थोड़ा देख लीजिएगा. टीचिंग में तो ऑफ कोर्स यूर टीचिंग केमिस्ट्री ओनली, इजंट इट? हाँ, तो ठीक है. इसके अलावा यू सी करंट अफेयर्स में यू मस्ट रीड अ न्यूज़पेपर रेगुलरली. एंड आपके पास टाइम है, आपका 12th को है ना
Yes, sir.
इंटरव्यू, तो थोड़ा सा उसको अच्छी तरह से पढ़िए. यू सी यू हैव इन्फॉर्मेशन but you do not have complete information.
Yes.
And that is why you are faltering. AFSPA 3 states में से withdraw किया था, reasoning दी गई थी. If you don't read the whole thing, you will not be able to respond. ठीक है? ये जो है Criminal Procedure Identification Act clearly उसमें दिए गए थे. तो if you read newspaper, you read the whole thing and try to memorize it.
Yes.
ठीक है?
Yes.
So current affairs में you can be asked any question.
Yes.
Within the country क्या हो रहा है, which are the various leaders which are coming into the country. Prime Minister is supposed to go out. The other day Prime Minister had gone to the Union Territory of Jammu.
Yes.
गए थे?
Yes.
वहाँ पे क्या, what are the areas in which he laid a foundation stone? There has been a reaction from Pakistan on the Hydel projects. Did you read about it in the papers or not?
Yes, sir. It was about Indus Water Treaty.
Yeah, that's right. Good. तो मतलब ये you see you have to read everything.
Yes.
In a newspaper. And I would suggest कि are you teaching अभी भी कि are you now on leave?
Leave, sir.
हाँ, तो आप जो 12 तारीख तक जो है उसको आप 8-9 घंटे बैठिए, पढ़िए.
Yes.
And current affairs पे you must have very good knowledge.
Yes.
Even on the day of your interview, read the newspaper very very carefully.
Yes.
ठीक है? And that is the only way you will be able to impress the interview board.
Yes.
One more just small minor thing. Do not look left and right when you are answering your questions. You will maintain eye contact only with the member of the board who is asking you the question. ठीक है?
Sir, 100%.
100%. You see, you are teaching.
Yes.
आप जब teaching में खड़े होते हैं तो you are supposed to look to all the students,
Yes.
isn't it? But ये वो तो है नहीं, ये तो this is a formal interview.
Yes.
And it looks very awkward when one member is asking you a question, आप जवाब उधर देख के दे रहे हैं. It doesn't, it's a logical thing. But कुछ ट्रेनिंग टीचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं, कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स, वो बताते हैं कि आप सब तरफ देखिए. That is not the case.
Yes.
This is a very formal interview. उसमें you will only maintain eye contact.
Yes.
ठीक है?
Sure, sir.
You belong to Rajasthan. राजस्थान के बारे में थोड़ा information जो है you must gather.
Yes.
Particularly tourism area है, which is a very major thing for Rajasthan. क्या नई नई trains कौन सी चल रही हैं वहाँ पे? What are the measures taken by the state government to improve tourism in the state? You opted for IAS and IPS and foreign service. Supposing आप IPS में या IAS पे posted हैं in your district, what do you feel are the critical issues which need to be addressed? थोड़ा सा give some thought to that. ठीक?
Yes.
चलिए.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
the
ma'am.
best. All the best. चलिए.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update.